Becoming You show with me, your host, Leah Rowling. Do you believe you are capable of choosing your future? Sometimes it takes just one person to believe in you, for you to believe in yourself. If you find yourself continuing to say, someday I will take better care of myself, only to continue living the same day over and over and over again, then you, my friend, are in the right place. I am your biggest cheerleader, inspiring you to become you on purpose and with intention. Are you ready to create a life you love? I'm excited to share with you some big ideas that you can use today to inspire, impact, and influence your life and everyone in it. The Becoming You show starts now. Hello, my beautiful friend. How are you? I hope this finds you inspired and encouraged by the progress that you are making in your life. I hope that you are mapping out and journaling the wins that you undoubtedly have. I hope that this day finds you having fun and feeling joy in it. And if for whatever reason that is not your reality, I welcome you to the show, right? Thank you for being here. I love having you here. I love hearing from you. Nothing makes me more giddy than getting replies from you, getting messages from you, asking me questions about my take on certain points, on certain topics, on certain frameworks that I teach here. So truly, I honor you for the student that you are. I honor you for the leader that you are. I honor you for doing this work. On the podcast last week, we talked about what we are not handling and how a lot of us, how a lot of what we are not handling seems to be obvious, but sometimes, scratch that, most times, it's not obvious, right? We think it is our team that we're not handling very well. We think that it's our finances that we're not handling very well. We think that it's our health that we're not handling very well. We think it's our relationships that we're not handling very well. But it is so much deeper than that. Mid-show, I wrote down, literally mid-show, I wrote down this question that came up to me. I literally took time out of the show to write it down in my journal so that I could bring it forward to you in this podcast. And this is this. Where did you lose your courage? This is the question that we're digging into during this conversation today. Understanding your past and how it shapes your courage. So let me answer that for you. I know that at least for me, there have been hundreds of times that I have lost my courage. You find where you lost your courage by asking yourself what it is that you are not handling. For me, it was some conversations with my team. For me, it was in being a better steward of my money. Now, I could have easily have blamed my team. I could have easily blamed time, right, for my lack of finance organization. But blame is never the answer. It can't be the answer. Not in pointing finger blaming kind of way. That will never provide the solution. Never. When I want the solution, I have to source me. I have to source self. So why am I not saying what needs to be said? Where did I lose my courage to do that? Well, this took me down a rabbit hole, as my mind likes to go down, and right into our local grocery store in my hometown, Hudson, Iowa. And the grocery store was called Randall's. And I remember I was there with one of my childhood girlfriends, and the gentleman in front of us was getting a carton of cigarettes. Now, I was probably, I don't know, 9 or 10. And I told him, right, that cigarettes were bad for his health. And he looked at me annoyed and told me that he didn't ask me what I had thought. My friend was mortified. I'm not sure if she actually said this or it was my perception of her nonverbal, but it was almost as if she said this: Leah, you are so embarrassing. I can't believe you just did that. And in that moment, I thought, why am I like this? Why do I share everything that is on my heart? Why do I care so much about other people and what they do? And I didn't know it at the time, right? That even then, at 9 or 10, I cared about helping people choose their potential. But I felt, who was I to say anything? No one cares what I have to say. When I speak, it is embarrassing, and people get angered with me. People get mad when I share what I think. Crazy, right? Maybe that's why it took me 20 years to launch my coaching company. Or maybe it took me that long to have discernment. But if I was willing to share what I think from a place of love, right, which is discerning facts from judgment with extreme ownership, there is not a conversation that I can't have. But how long did I use what happened 40 years ago to affect my ability to handle these conversations now? So let's talk about your story. Where in the past did you lose your courage? And remember, we lost our courage somewhere if we're not handling the very thing that we know we need to handle now. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, go to last episode, okay? That's where you find where you've lost your courage. Right? These aren't conversations that most of us are just having. Most people are just waking up and going, I wonder if I could find where I lost my courage today, right? But these are the conversations that we have on this show because it matters. Because until you can access your courage, you can't access another level for you. And that is always my invitation for you. Okay. So the question then comes back to, where in the past did you lose your courage? Okay. Where did the opinions of others affect how you show up in the world? Where did other people's belief of you become your belief in yourself? What meaning did you give your past? Now, this is what I know about your past, and I am sharing this with love and a wink. It's over. It's done. Your past doesn't affect you unless you let it by way of your thoughts. The stories that you have right now about it, okay? I want you to think about this. If you had amnesia and you had no memory of your past, it wouldn't influence your current thoughts or actions. Now, of course, there are exceptions to almost everything I share on this podcast. If you've had physical trauma or PTSD or anything related, those are out of the realm of what I'm talking about, okay? There is so much good that can be done by therapies that take you back and let you experience that level of healing. But this is not what I'm bringing forward today, okay? Those are things that are not of your conscious knowing, okay? We're talking about things that are of your conscious knowing, thoughts that you continue to bring to your now from your past that create now feelings, okay? So what does your story mean to you? What have you made it mean about yourself and your life? my story about what happened when I was in Randall's in my hometown in Hudson, I made that mean that I should just keep my mouth shut. I made that mean that I shouldn't really care about what other people do and their health. And I made it mean that if I'm an embarrassment to my friend, I should just not say anything at all. Okay, that's what I mean. It's really important for me to understand that. And I'm not doing it from a shame and a blame type of scenario. I'm looking at me like, isn't that fascinating? Isn't that fascinating that perhaps that is the reason why it took me as long as it did to step into my voice, to actually say what I want to say. Okay? So we're just doing this with tremendous curiosity. What do you make your story mean? Okay? What have you made it mean about yourself and about your life? Okay? These are the thoughts. I promise you, my friends, these are the thoughts that shape your present and your future. Okay? It's not the past events themselves, but your current thoughts about them that matter. If you're new to the show, I say this a lot. There are no past emotions, right? Nothing from your past is upsetting you. Okay. There's also no future emotions. Nothing from your future that hasn't happened yet is creating worry for you. The only thing that is happening is a now feeling because of a now thought, right? Your past is not upsetting. You have a now thought about your past that is upsetting you. We need to understand the subtleties in that because the difference is either empowering or disempowering. It's either encouraging or disencouraging. We need to know this, okay? So your past is over. It is. There is no potential there except for the lesson, the curriculum, the learning, the asset that you've created from whatever story, from whatever adversity, from whatever struggle that you've endured, the asset that was part of the curriculum that makes you a stronger, smarter, more capable, more valuable version to yourself, okay? The only power that your past holds over to you is the power that you give it through your thoughts. Either way, it's powerful either way. It's either debilitating or elevating, okay? Understanding this truly is the key to reclaiming your courage, okay? So if the past is a story and it's a narrative and it's optional, okay, you have the power to rewrite it, to make it serve you rather than to use it to limit ourselves and to hold us back. So we're going to rewrite our stories today. We're going to let go of the narratives that no longer serve us. We're going to step into the courage that's required to our next level of success. What matters now, today, in this moment, right now, is the story that you choose to tell yourself and the courage that you choose to embrace moving forward, right? Clients often tell me, I have really old wounds. I have really old pain, okay? This thing, fill in the blank, was challenging, was awful, was terrible, was debilitating, left me feeling hopeless, right? But here's the truth. There's no such thing. What you have is a feeling that you're experiencing in this moment of now. It's not an old feeling from when you were 8 that you're reliving now, okay? The feeling that you had when you were 8 is over. And what you're feeling now is new, created by your current thoughts. It probably feels the same or similar, but it isn't. It just isn't. And you have 100% control and power over that. You're not experiencing pain from your past. You're experiencing present pain. And like I mentioned, it may feel similar to the pain that you felt years ago, but it isn't the same. It's pain created in this moment by your current level of thinking. And this is life-changing to understand. It was life-changing for me as I navigated my past by rewriting the stories of my past so that they became assets to me and my future. Because the past is over and the only pain you're experiencing is the pain that you're creating now. Now, you might be thinking that you went through something horrific. And you might also be thinking, how can you say it isn't affecting me now? Okay. And the way I can say this positively, because I've experienced it, because I will forever and for always be my client. The good news is the person who hurt you then cannot affect you now unless you allow your thoughts to give them power. And if you're feeling pain, it's because you're thinking thoughts that create that pain today. Okay? This isn't about blaming the victim. Okay? It's about recognizing the power to stop the pain lies that you tell yourself. Okay? And again, I have worked with many clients who've experienced extreme abuse as children. Okay? The physical abuse ended long ago, but they continue to perpetuate the emotional abuse in their minds. And when they do that, they give power to their abusers, often long after those people are gone, by continually torturing themselves with their thoughts. And this is why this is such great news, because you have the power to change how you think about your past. And then we remember that the only way that your past affects you now is through the meaning that you give it by way of your thoughts. And you can change how you feel by changing how you think. You have to know that your past does not define you. Your thoughts about your past do. So how do you use your past to be that source of inspiration, to be that asset that we will use to become stronger and to open up gateways for us that we didn't know were available? So I want you to think about your past for a moment, in whatever way you want to think about it without judgment, okay? How do you want to use it? It's your story. No one can change it or touch it but you. You get to decide. You get to decide what your past means in your life. Are you going to be the hero of your story? Or are you going to continue to create pain by way of the way you're thinking about it? And here's the thing, you guys, we don't need to dive way into our past to heal it. Of course, with like some exceptions, like I mentioned earlier. Repressed experiences, unconscious memories, physical trauma, PTSD. And again, this is where specialized therapies can be incredibly beneficial. But for most of us, we often feel justified, okay, chained to a painful story about our past and what it means for our lives. And the truth is that story is completely optional. You can continue to stay chained to it if you want. It won't matter. I love you anyway. I just want you to better love your life. And you can't love your life when you're chained to a story that creates suffering for you. Okay? So I want you to imagine choosing to believe, if you can for me, okay? I want you to imagine choosing to believe that your past has made you strong, that has made you capable, that has made you smart, that has made you worthy, that has made you resilient, that has made you gritty. Now, I want you to go mining for that evidence, because if you do, you will find it. You will find it. You will find your resolve in that story. You will find your message in the mess. I promise you. And then the invitation today is I want you to start retelling your story in a way that serves you, that builds feelings of positivity and strength and energy. You don't have to carry anything into your brain that you don't want. If you find yourself thinking about your past, I want you to ask yourself why. It's definitely worth coaching yourself on this, you guys. You decide what you bring into your future. And here's the best part. You get to leave behind anything that you don't want to carry with you. You get to do that. And I will say this again. If anything from your past is causing you pain, if anything from your past is causing you pain and you have not done this work, this work that we teach here on this show, okay? It's because of the story that you're telling yourself about it. And if you've done this work, and this isn't a like every once in a while type of work, this is a daily practice of managing your mind and retelling, reaffirming the beliefs that will put you in a position to be empowered, to be resilient, to be courageous, versus telling your story and beliefs that keep you stuck, ruminating, and ungrateful. Okay? If you struggle with the discernment of the two and you've practiced it daily, religiously, consistently, that's when therapies could be incredibly useful. I love pairing both. I love pairing both therapy and coaching together. And for some of you that don't know me, I am certified as a cognitive behavioral therapist. I have therapy credentials. I just choose to do coaching. Coaching is my jam. Can I do therapy? Yes. Can I go back to the past? Can we do the good work to heal it? Absolutely. Is it beneficial? 1,000%. But because I've been doing this work for so long, I know that for so many of us, it's not required, right? It's not required, right? You get to change it today, right now, with the tools that we teach here, okay? So this practice truly of rewriting the story of our past has had a profound influence on my life. It's why I wrote my book. No one is coming to save you. I literally walked through all of my experiences of my past, and I rewrote them and I retold them, giving you the tools that I teach here on the show, literally putting them in the narrative of how I bring a story forward based on my past, and the tools that I share in this podcast on how I've been able to retell a different story. I tell you, it has completely transformed the way that I show up in my life, the way I love in my life, the way I lead in my life, the way that I demand a little bit more, a lot more of myself in my life, and not from a shaming way, but just knowing that what is possible for me is so much bigger than I ever give myself credit for. And if that is true for me, my friends, it is also true for you, okay? I really want you to do this work. I highly encourage you to try this exercise out for yourself. If you could sum up your past in one sentence, how do you want to define it? How do you want to rewrite it so that you become a beacon of hope and you can turn what I like to say, and I don't know who originally came up with this, but you can turn your mess in whatever way you might consider your past messy into a message of hope for others. Okay? Because really, the work that we do here isn't just for ourselves, although we are for sure the benefactor of it in the biggest way possible. But the work that we do here has a ripple effect on every single life that we touch. If we're still living in the past with past stories that cripple us, the people that will be affected by that are our children. The people that will be affected by that are our significant others. The people that will be affected by that is the people that we work with, the people that we lead in this life. And that is not leadership. That is not leadership. Okay? So, you've heard me say this before, but most of the thoughts that we have today, you did not consciously choose. Okay? Instead, they were programmed into you at a very young age. You are so accustomed to thinking these thoughts that you might not even realize that they're there for you. Okay? Some of these thoughts, by the way, are super positive and they don't need to be changed. And others, they aren't so great. And you might not even be aware of them. Okay? So thoughts like I'm generous and I'm loving and I'm kind and we need to brush our teeth and we need to shower and we need to save money and how we identify ourselves as a mom, as a wife, as a sister, as a daughter. Okay. These are all thoughts. They're pretty positive for the most part. We don't really need to evaluate them. Okay. These are things in my life, probably most likely that I'm handling well. Where we're not handling well, those are where the thoughts will not be so great. Okay. So if we're not handling money right now, it's probably because of money belief that we've borrowed. Okay. That money is hard, that money isn't easy, that money doesn't grow on tree, that there's a limited amount, that if you have money, it takes away from other people, as if there's a one big money pie and there's only a sliver of that pie that you can have, because if you take any more than that, then you take up for everybody else, right? We've learned that we've been taught that losing weight is really challenging and it's really hard. We've been taught that we're not good at things, or that other people can do things that we can't, or that it's other people's job to make us happy, or that love is hard, right? Like these are all things that just thoughts. And so as we look to rewrite our past stories, those stories will undoubtedly have sentences, okay? Sentences that I want you to reflect on, okay? Because the thoughts that you've adopted from the past without realizing it, these might have been thoughts that your parents have taught you, lessons from school, beliefs that you've developed through repetition, right? These thoughts have shaped your reality in one way, shape, or form. And they're all optional. So if you can look at how these thoughts are serving you, and if they are not, how can you change it into something that empowers you? That is the work. That is the work. The work is not to be upset about the thoughts. The work is to look and identify thoughts that create unnecessary suffering for ourselves. And that is the work that we get to do. That is the work that we get to do. I hope that you will take me up on this exercise to re-examine what it is that you, like your operating manual. I want you to take a look at it. If you haven't looked at it for a while, I want you to revisit it. And it can seem like a very overwhelming task that I'm asking you to do, but it is relatively quite simple. Can you be honest with yourself enough to ask yourself, what am I not handling right now at this level of success in my life? What am I not handling? Like I mentioned in the last episode, catch that one. Am I not taking care of my health? Am I not taking care of my relationships? Am I not taking care of my business? Have I buried my hand in the sand as it relates to bills and finances and money? Have I just stopped caring about my exercise and my nutrition? Have I just stopped trying to make an effort to connect with people? Whatever that is, whatever you're not handling right now is going to prevent you from that next level of success. And I know you want that next level of success. Otherwise, you would not be wasting your time here. Okay? So find that, whatever that is where you have lost your courage. I promise you this is true. When you can tap into that will take you to your thoughts, your current thoughts about what is possible for you. And those are the thoughts that I'm inviting you to clean up. Those are the thoughts that I'm inviting you to shift. Those are the thoughts that I'm asking you to rewrite so that you can be the most powerful version of you, so that you can step into that next level of potentiality for you, so that you can be the ripple effect and you can be the change and the impact that you know you want to be and to have in the world. That's the invitation in this conversation. I hope that you will take me up on it. If you don't take me up on it for your benefit, I want you to think about the person that you love the most in the world. Maybe it's your kids. Maybe it's your dog. Maybe it's your husband. Maybe it's your wife. Who is that person? And let me for sure tell you this. If you can do this for you, you've done it for them 1,000 times over. I hope you'll do just that. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. You have been listening to the Becoming You show with me, your host, Leah Rolling, where I share big ideas to inspire, impact, and influence your life. Tune in every Friday at 11 Central on transformationtalkradio.com for your morning cup of coffee, the hug you never want to end, and that inspirational message that you felt was written just for you. Each show is inspiring you to become you with purpose and intention. For more information or to connect with me, visit www.leahrolling.com.